Hi guys, happy Friday. How are y'all? If you are watching the replay, sorry, I'm writing something down. Let me know. Say replay. Give everybody a few minutes to get on. Hey Anya. So, does it feel like a Friday to anybody? I mean, it kind of does, but I feel like we're still in a weird time here. Like they just started opening stuff up around here, so I feel like every day's a weekday. Okay, so yesterday I put out a poll on our group about what y'all wanted more trainings on or information or whatever. Hey Amanda. And not surprisingly, sponsoring was the most popular thing, which excites me because one, that shows me that y'all want to sponsor, and two, that shows me that you see that it's also an issue. I want to start off by saying that sponsoring is the hardest part of this business, in my opinion, because it's uncomfortable for a lot of people to sponsor people. But so when you say that this is the thing that you need the most help on, you're not alone. This is the one thing that I every month not necessarily struggle with, but it's what I have to really take time to focus on. I feel like PRV comes easy to me, but sponsoring doesn't. And there's a few things that I have found to help me with that. This past month, I think I sponsored 3, and then the month before that 3 as well. And I don't remember after that because I have no memory, but I feel like it's helped a few things. So if you have a piece of paper or whatever, just take notes. I don't have a ton of notes, so hopefully I cover everything I want to. But the first thing, other than letting you know that sponsoring is hard, is that I want y'all to know why it's so important. And I am talking about it here because, or at least I'm talking about it here first on the leaders page, because that is what's going to keep you as leader. It's going to keep you getting paid at title, which paid at title doesn't mean anything until you're a lead consultant, because once you're certified, you're certified. But once you become a lead, you have to meet numbers every month to become paid at title and get those bonuses. So why sponsoring is important, because building your team is the most important thing with Scentsy as far as money, to be honest with you. If you want to make a decent amount of money, or if you want to make a certain amount of money, sponsoring is what's going to help you get there. You can only do so much PRV. We know how much commission we get on our PRV. And can you make a few $100s, or, however, up to 1,000 or around 1,000 or whatever it is with PRV? Yes, absolutely. But once you start having a team and you start coaching that team, cultivating that team, and continuing to support that team, you're going to see a difference in your paycheck. So the first thing I want y'all to do, and I've included this on all my coaching call forms, is to look at the compensation plan. I have a copy of it on my desk all the time, because I don't have a great memory, but it's also something that I always go back and look at. But that can show you the difference. And I can show y'all some examples of my check with just the difference in what I made off my PRV and then what I made because of my team, because of my frontline and their teams. So the difference is insane. It's insane, okay? So sponsoring is very important because that's what you have to do to build your team. You also have to have a certain amount of frontline for certain titles, active frontline, I should say. You have to have, and you always need to be like one of your main focuses with sponsoring is, it's great that one of your frontline sponsors someone, but then you want to always, as well, continue to always widen your front line, because out promoting can happen, and your front line is what you get paid off. To be completely honest, that is what you get paid off of, their TWV. So you get, obviously what their recruits get too, but your main focus should be your front line, at least at first. So, it's very important. Sponsoring is very important. And I noticed that when obviously my team started building. So make sure you are even looking at your own paychecks. If you just promoted to lead or star, go back and look at your paychecks and look at what you got from your PRV and what you got from your team. Okay, so you yourself can see the difference in that. So with sponsoring, I don't feel like there's not like a magic wand, there's not a magic word, there's not a magic anything that's going to be like, if you do this, you can sponsor all the people. I think it's a mix of a few things. But the first thing, if you're having issues with sponsoring, is to answer the question. And if you ever come to me about sponsoring one-on-one, the first question I'm going to ask you is, how many join conversations have you had in the last 30 days? How many join conversations have you had in the last 30 days? So this month it'll be a little different because we just had a join special. So we were obviously sharing the heck out of that join special, right? Until it sold out. We were messaging people. We were sharing it on our social media. We were sharing it in our stories. We were following up with people maybe that we had talked to in the past about it. And that's what you need to be doing every month, because every month we have a join special and it's the host exclusive kit. I'm not going to get into that, but you should be sharing the join special as much as you did last month when we had a $20 join special. Okay. Because you have to think, how many conversations did you have last month with the join special? I had a lot. I followed up with a lot of people. I mentioned it to pretty much anyone that I talked to about Scentsy. I just threw in there, hey, just want to make sure you saw that we have a join special this month. That's what I should be doing every time I talk to someone about Scentsy, is offering some type of join conversation. So that's the first question I want you to ask yourself and answer. How many conversations are you having a month? If you say, oh, probably about maybe 10. No, I want an exact number. Okay, let me get back to you. Let me go get my sheet and tell you how many conversations I've had. So, oh, that's the wrong notebook. There it is. Let me grab it real quick. Move, Dina. So I want you to go and I want you to have some sort of system as to how you're keeping up with who you're talking to. So I personally use the Dream Team list. Okay. So this is an old one, but I have their name. I have when I talk to them, how I talk to them, and then I have notes. Okay. Yours doesn't have to look like this, but you should be able to say to me, well, the systems keep you, one, on track, and two, they keep you organized, because you can go and say, oh, I've had 20 conversations this month. Okay. I guarantee you, if you've had 20 conversations this month, you've sponsored at least one person, to be completely honest with you. My point with this is, if I ask you that question and you don't know the exact number, or you can't look it up on your system or whatever you want to call it, that's your first problem, because you're going to feel like you're having all the joint conversations. You're going to feel like that's all you do is ask people about joining your team. But when you actually write down their names and the date and notes, you're going to go back and you're going to be like, I've only asked 10 people. Okay. I've only asked 10 people. Okay. So out of those 10, maybe one will join. I don't know. I don't know what the exact statistic is. But the point in all that is that you're keeping up with it. You're not just randomly throwing it out every now and then. You're not just winging it. Okay. Yes, you do need a system to keep up with who you're talking to, because guess what? The people that aren't highlighted on this list, I'm going to go back to at some point and I'm going to talk to them about it. And I'm going to say, hey, I know you thought about it, but you're not interested, but this, or but I have a kit for $20, but I have a kit for $59. But I noticed you were complaining about your job, and I was just wanting to check in, see if you had changed your mind, whatever it may be. Okay, so how many people are you asking? If you're not sure, if you cannot do an exact number, then you're not tracking who you're talking to. Don't be sorry. If you're not tracking them, then you're not keeping up with who you're talking to. Sorry, that's a long message. When I had someone join us, sorry. Yes, so, and that's the thing with systems, and that's a whole nother training. But systems don't have to be like this long, drawn out thing. If your system for your dream team list is a notebook that has their name and notes and the day that you talk to them, then that's your system. That's a system. As long as whatever you're doing can be replicatable and sustainable, then that's a system. So a lot of people see system and they think of this like long drawn out spreadsheet, and can it be that? Yes, but it doesn't have to be. So make sure you're tracking who you're talking to. That's the biggest point. I would suggest that you are having at least a conversation a day. That's 30 conversations a month. With being a leader and making Scentsy a full-time income, disclaimer, I'm not saying it would be, but your goal every month should be 2K PRV and 2 sponsors every month, not reinstatements. Reinstatements are great, but you should be having 2K PRV and sponsoring 2 people a month to get where you want to be, or to sustain a wide frontline and business. So if you're just hopping on, make sure you go back and watch the beginning, because there's a few points that I want everyone to hear with that. And then one thing that I do for sponsoring is every host that I have, I'm obviously offering the host exclusive kit to them. Even if we've never talked about joining Scentsy. I have a girl that is hosting a party right now. I don't know her personally. And I just mentioned to her when I told her that her party was set up that she, as a hostess, she has the option to start her own journey for $59. Okay, so if she wants more information, I'll be happy to give it to her. But I also, when you're asking or talking to people about the join special, always end in a question. Don't say, like for instance, like I just said, you have the option to get this $59 kit for your own journey. Let me know if you want any more information on that. Because guess what? They're going to say, okay, thanks. And that's it. You should say something along the lines of, as a hostess, you have the option to start your own journey for $59. Have you ever thought about doing something like this or doing what I do? End it in a question, so they don't have to answer you. They might ignore it. I've had plenty of people just ignore me totally about that question. They're so excited about the party, they're obviously not interested in joining, or they're uncomfortable with answering that question. But if someone is thinking about it, or they have thought about it in the past, and you ask them that question, they may say, I have thought about it, but I'm still not sure. Okay, well, that's a gateway. That's a follow-up right there. Okay? Yes, and it's exclusive to the host. And that's why we always say gift a kit, because when you're giving someone who's not a host exclusive kit, you're gifting them that kit. Even if they're paying the full $59, that's not their kit. That's not their kit to keep. That's not their kit to do anything with. You're gifting that to them. And I have some people that on here that I have gifted a kit to. I didn't have to give them their kit that they weren't a host of, that they didn't host a party to unlock that $59. So wording is important. Asking a question at the end. And through all of this, you notice that all that we're talking about, or that I'm talking about right now, is individual conversations. Is posting on your social media important? 1,000%. But posting on your social media, or even in your stories, is not conversations. You're not building a relationship with anybody. You're not having a one-on-one conversation. Are you sharing the opportunity? Yes, and that's great, but that's not how we run a business. Same thing for selling Scentsy, for PRV. You can share until you're blue in the face, but until you message someone and ask them to host a party, or message them and tell them that something reminded them of them. Sorry, I got that mixed up. That's not running a business. Social media gets interest of people, and they may ask questions, and you can use that to base conversations off of. So if someone comments on something or likes something a lot, or you see that someone's interacting with your Scentsy post a lot, yes, use that to your advantage to message them and be like, hey, I noticed that you love this. Would you like more information on it? Or whatever it may be. But just sharing the opportunity and just sharing Scentsy is not running a business. That's not going to produce the same results as messaging someone and asking them. One thing that I do a lot in my stories is when I share it, I'll say, do you want it? And I'll give them 2 positives. Yes, I want it. I want more information. 2 positives. Because if you put a no in there, you're going to get no's. And who cares? Like, that was a waste of your time and theirs. Why are you even giving them the option to say no? They can either say yes or they cannot respond. And if they answer to either one of those, then again, you have a gateway. Okay? So being very intentional with sponsoring is important too. Messaging people is intentional. Sharing on Facebook can be intentional if you're intentional about what you're sharing, if that makes sense. So sponsoring is definitely a lifestyle. It's something that you should be doing daily in your business. It's one of the stools on the 3 stools to balance your business for a reason. Because as much as you are selling and trying to get Hostess or PRV, you should also be sponsoring and talking about the join opportunity. And the last thing I'll say is to kind of tag along onto the part of sharing on social media. It is important, but it's not running a business. But a lot of times I see people will share the opportunity as we have a $20 join kit, or they'll share the opportunity that I have a discounted kit. But you never share, and I'm not talking about anyone specifically, but I don't see as many people sharing their Scentsy life. Okay, so what's Scentsy doing for you? What's, we have a very strong team, and that is not very common. I'm going to be honest with you. Are there other strong teams? Absolutely. But the bond and the attitude and the culture we have on our team is very positive. And so I think it was Emily that shared today about how much this has blessed her, and not just financially. Those kind of things she should be sharing on her personal page. And maybe she did. I haven't even looked, but just using it as an example. So sharing your Scentsy life, not just sharing, which is also important, you using the products and how you go through your daily routine with changing your wax or cleaning your counters or putting oil in or spraying your dogs. All of that is important. But as far as the sponsoring side, you should be sharing what Scentsy's doing for you. Did you meet your best friend in Scentsy? Do you have a new outlook on life, on people? Does it make you happy? Just things like that. Sharing with people that it's not just a paycheck, because it's not. It's not just a paycheck. But sharing that Scentsy is changing you, if it's changing you. And if it's not changing you yet, it will if you keep going, I promise. Because I remember even my first world tour, people were like talking about all these, how they share that Scentsy has changed their life. And Scentsy hadn't changed my life at that point. To be completely honest, it had not changed my life. It was something I was doing to make a couple $100. To be completely honest, it was about the money. I wanted money to go to the beach with my family every weekend. And then it became something way bigger, obviously, than I've ever expected. I have gotten obviously close with a lot of y'all. It has changed my outlook on life. Hello. What I can do. It's changed so much about me. It's changed our family. It's changed our family dynamic. And so all of that are things that we should share. When you get something in the mail, if you're a leader, whether it's from me, your director, Chloe, Cincy, it needs to be on your social media, whoever it's from, and tag who it's from, because that's the nice thing to do. That's what we were taught when we grew up, right? To say thank you. But tag them and share what you're getting from this business. You're getting recognition. And I know personally, and I know a lot of y'all probably agree, we've had a lot of jobs in our life that you're coming in and you're clocking in and out. And that's your recognition, okay? And I'm not saying recognition is everything, but if you get a text from your upline, yes. If you get an email from your upline, anything that's sent to me. So if it's an email, I don't necessarily always share text because those are personal, but emails, anything in the mail, anything I share, because that guides my Scentsy journey. Everything that is Scentsy related guides my journey. I've had so many aha moments, and some of that is from recognition from people that I look up to. Completely honest. So sharing what Scentsy's doing for you, and if it's not changed your life, don't tell them it's changed your life. Be honest. But if Scentsy is your escape, or Scentsy is something that you love to do, or Scentsy is something that every time you have a notification from a group, you know it's going to be positive, share that. Share that it's not just, okay, we got numbers to meet and that's all it is, because it's not about that. It's not at all. So share your Scentsy life. Share how you're living and how it's changing you, your family, all of that. Yes, show our community. It's special, y'all. It's special. So, sponsoring, to leave you with some tips, track who you're talking to. And it's not a numbers game. It's just a matter, it's a smart business move to keep up with who you've talked to, because some of these names, this is, like I said, this was an old sheet. Some of these names I forgot about talking to them already. If I didn't write them down, they would not be even in my mind. So track who you're talking to. Be intentional with who you're talking to. Talk to people you want on your team. If you love someone's attitude and you love how they are always positive and doing the damn thing, reach out to them. I would love someone like you to be on my team. I would love to work side by side with you. Tell them. Okay? Yes, even a date night, whatever Scentsy bless you with, you're getting something out of Scentsy. Even if it's just free product, you're getting something out of Scentsy. So share it. Okay? So track the people you're talking to. Keep up with how many conversations you're having a month or a week or however you want to track it. Get some kind of system in place, whether it's just writing a name down and a date in notes or actually a spreadsheet, whatever you want to do. And really think about your goals. And I know this is like, because people are so sick about hearing about goals, but goals will make your business go farther, I promise, because you're going to write down some crazy goals and then one day you're going to achieve them and you're going to be like, oh my God, I did it. And it's going to change you. It's going to change you. But if you don't write those goals down, if you're like me, sometimes I'll even forget my goals because they'll be so freaking insane that I'll be like, I did write that down, and I achieve it. And thank goodness I wrote it down, because I'm like, wow, I can do big things. Again, all of the sponsoring, all the parts of this business, we're doing the same thing over and over again. We're just perfecting how we do it. So, yes. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. As leaders, we should continue to sponsor because it's going to continue to build your business and your team. And a lot of times people have problems with sponsoring because they're not doing it. They're not having the conversation. So first step, have the conversations. Reach out to 10 people today. You can either offer them a host exclusive kit if you have one to offer, or you can talk to them about, even if you don't have a host exclusive kit right now, every month you should have a party that's your personal one for local orders that reaches qualifying. So if you don't have one right now, you probably will have one at the end of the month. And you can just say, hey, we have this awesome host exclusive kit. You could offer for them to host it. If they're not interested in hosting, you could gift them one of yours without coming out of pocket. But the best way to start this business is to host a party with you, do the host exclusive kit. You could either earn the kit for free or pay full price, the $59 for it, and then agree ahead of time that you're going to flip the PRV to them, so you're helping them start their business off in the right direction. Okay, so if anyone is wanting to start and they don't have the money to do that, that's the route you need to go. They need to host their party. They need to, their launch party, call it their launch party, and then once the party's closed, they're official. There's so many ways we can use this. There's so many ways that we can use the host exclusive and the $99 kit. A lot of times when I talk to people about the $59 kit or even the $20 kit, they want the $99 kit because it is full of stuff. It is a great deal. I mean, it really is a great deal. If you're like really serious about your business, and I can say that because I joined on a $49 kit because I wasn't that serious about it when I started. Okay, and that's okay. So, yes, there's plenty of videos out there how to flip. You can YouTube it. It's on the main page. And I want y'all to take these sponsoring tips or just this conversation, and I want you to relay it to your teams, because that's something that I also have to worry about, because I've had 2 brand new girls and just in the last few days ask me about sponsoring. How do I do that? Or what does that mean? They don't know what it means. They don't know that they should always take the sponsor over the PRV. I had one girl talk about how it's one of her best customers' cousin. So she's going to lose the PRV, but she's going to build her team. And that's what we need to share with our teams, is that sponsoring is just as important as PRV. Yes, the 99 kit is definitely the biggest bang for your buck. It's amazing. It's amazing the product that comes in that. So share all the things, have all the conversations. Let me know if you have questions. Know that you are not alone in having a sponsoring issue. And we're going to all work on this together. If you have a conversation, share it to our group. Let us know how it went. If it went well, maybe we can learn something from you. If it didn't go well, maybe we can learn something from you. Okay? So, yes, Chastity has a few about the host exclusive kit that I've shared on Simply Grace and Grit too. So I hope y'all have a great weekend. It is a beautiful day in here in New York. It's 80 degrees, which is really not normal. So I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.